This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. It is not intended to cause or induce breach of an existing agency agreement.
Hello? 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 This is the Vancouver
Commercial
Real Estate Podcast.
And welcome back to the Vancouver Commercial Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Cory Wright.
And I'm your sometimes host, Adam Scalina. Cory, you're looking fit. I gotta say, it looks like you did some exercise this week.
I don't know if I'd call it exercise or dying. I might look fit, but I am sore. And we talk about this a little bit on today's episode with our guest, Harry Jones from our William Wright Commercial Victoria office.
Right.
Giving us an update on how they're doing over there.
Harry Jones is ripped. He's a professional rugby player.
Yeah, he went to the Olympics. You ever seen like that sculpture of David?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talk about that. We joke on the episode about this, how I make my way around the province every month to all the offices. And when I go to the interior offices, it's like, we're out having wine after, we're doing the interior thing, right?
Right.
And I go over to spend the night with the guys in Victoria for a couple of days and everyone's off work and we're going to F45.
F45.
And we should preference that 3 of our members in our Victoria office, 2 are ex-Olympians.
Yeah.
One of them played professional rugby.
Right.
Right. So there's, they're in good shape. So they dragged me to the F45 class, which I've never done before. And Harry Jones, like I said, sculpted, David, like ripped. I'm in his group.
Yeah.
At F45. And
he's putting like 3 plates on the bar, and you're just finishing your last plate of cake.
Yeah, and I'm lifting the bar, and that's about all I'm lifting. Harry comes out with the Olympic ones that aren't even an option for the everyday person. He grabs the Olympic weights that are 5 times heavier than everything.
Right.
When I left, I couldn't feel my body below my waist, and I've experienced pain in muscles I didn't even know I had the next day.
So you going back?
I don't know if I can. I can tell you this. I can see how it works.
Right.
I can understand how people get in shape pretty quick with that concept. And it was an awesome, all joking aside, it was an awesome time. I'm definitely feeling it a couple days later.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm sure going to end up back there at some point. But without delay, Harry Jones on our episode today.
I love this one.
It's a great episode. We're checking in on Victoria because we've got a lot of people kind of emailing us because people have obviously heard interest rates are going up. Is the market slowing? Where is it slowing? Victoria just keeps propelling itself upwards. So
right.
we wanted to bring Harry on today to give us an update on the asset classes over there. How's the industrial market? Where's Harry investing? And he just kind of really unpacks it. And he talks about great opportunities. You can understand why the metrics work so well in Victoria.
Yeah, and Harry has some sound advice if you're an investor or someone who's been on the sidelines in Victoria. So hang tight for that. But why don't we cut to this conversation with Harry?
Yeah, it's a great one. It's a long one, so let's enjoy it. This week's episode is brought to you by our great friends at Impact Commercial Group.
Really enjoy working with Impact Commercial. And we should say Al and his team can basically do anything when it comes to lending.
Anything when it comes to under the commercial umbrella. You're building a building in development, we got you covered. You're buying land, we'll make that happen for you. You're investing in a property or multifamily building, check. Owner-occupiers looking to acquire their own space, double check. Anything commercial financing you need, Impact Commercial is your go-to.
ImpactCommercial.ca. And we should say over 50 years of combined experience. So trust these guys. They're the right fit.
Best in the business, in my opinion. All right, we're here with Harry Jones, senior broker from our William Wright Commercial Victoria office. Harry, how you doing today?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Harry, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I've been working over here with the William Wright Victoria Group for about 3 years now since we opened up the brokerage. And previously before that, I've been playing rugby with the national team, both the teams and 7th team, most recently retiring from the Olympics this past summer. Commercial appraiser as well with VR Cole, which is a appraisal firm in town here.
That's fantastic. One of the reasons we brought you on today is because we're getting a lot of questions about the Victoria market and surrounding areas. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on in the market right now in the commercial real estate market in Victoria?
Yeah, I think, the word's definitely out. I think COVID's expedited that. Obviously, it's been a shift and people want to live in quotations, more rural areas at times. And although Victoria is not rural, people are able to kind of enjoy life a little bit more and live in a very beautiful part of the world. A lot of trade areas have seen a lot of interest all up and down the island. And obviously on the commercial side, there's been quite a bit of action over the last few years.
So Harry, we've got continuous emails from listeners. I think all 6 of our listeners emailed in, and people were asking questions because we obviously interest rates are going higher, and we're very bullish on Victoria as a whole. Victoria seems to have almost, I don't say bucked the trend we've seen, where naturally we've seen a little bit of a slowdown as interest rates go higher, but also people seem to be on hyper accelerated travel mode. So I don't think 100% of the slowdown is caused by the interest rates just yet, or hard to tell. But Victoria just keeps moving upwards. Why is that? What is leading the way, leading the charge with Victoria? Why is it continuing to buck the trend when most places are plateauing or slightly slowing down? Victoria is still on that trajectory of moving upwards.
Yeah, you've obviously seen a lot of urban sprawl in Vancouver, and I think similar to Victoria, we're landlocked over here. You obviously have the South Island area. If you want to go out west, you go to Souk, and then up north, you're on the Malahat along the Trans-Canada up to some kind of tertiary markets, and then the next larger market is going to be Nanaimo. So a lot of developers and bigger groups have seen this opportunity, obviously, and wanted to put their money there. But I still think there's quite a bit of money on the sidelines that are waiting to kind of see how things shake out. We're quite busy over on the island here. Still quite a bit of opportunity, and even in the summer months here, we've been trying to keep our head above water.
So Victoria, has been home, or I guess you could say home to almost the lowest vacancy rate of the industrial asset class in North America, as well as home to the highest industrial lease rates in Canada. I think there was a report came out that had Langford, or not Langford, but Greater Victoria as the highest lease rates for industrial in Canada. Why Victoria? Is it just a lack of supply in that asset class, or is it a combination of the absorption of the new product coming on and demand continues to outpace, construction, which is just obviously overtaking it because there's no opportunities?
Yeah, large amount of pent up demand. Not a lot of larger construction that's been happening over the last few years, but we're starting to see that come through now. There's about just over 600,000 square feet of construction underway right now, with a handful of industrial developments. Most recently, Connor, my business partner and broker over here in the William Wright office, just finished the sales at West Shore Business Park, which is bringing just over 100,000 square feet. But you have a handful of other ones that are in the short term here going to relieve some of that stress. But with the amount of demand coming through and the absorption that's happening in these pre-sale developments, it's the demand, it keeps going, and the price per foot metrics keep going up. We're seeing an average of about just over $17 a square foot, but those asking rates on these new developments are going to be well above that.
So Harry, as you'd be living under a rock at this point to think that you haven't heard about construction rates that have been ballooning in cost over the past 4, 6, or 8 months. From new construction standpoint, specifically into the industrial class, are price per foot on the pre-sales going up? And if so, are people buying still as these rates go? Is that a reflection of how high demand is?
Yeah, in short, the answer is yes. We've had industrial pre-sale strata price per foot metrics around the kind of low mid 300s, and that's escalated over the last year or so up to even eclipsing 500 a foot at PC Urban's cornerstone development as of late. Certainly seeing that demand. Obviously, with interest rates escalating, it doesn't make as much sense on an investor base. We're seeing more owner occupiers right now. I think that might shift in the medium term, but definitely a large amount of pent up demand. And on the leasing front, with an average of about $15 a square foot, these projects are going to lease out well above that. And no one can buy any listing that goes up right now for an industrial lease gets swept up right away. It's there's just a large amount of pent up demand.
Just wondering where the money's coming from right now, Harry. Is it people from Vancouver, or is it local money on the island, or who's buying right now?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of out of town investors, especially when the price per foot metric slightly lower, say a year ago. We're seeing a lot of investors were quite bullish, seeing what's going on in Vancouver with price per foot metrics going over $700 per square foot for industrial strata. Just seeing the opportunity over here with somewhat comparable price per foot leasing rates. I think in Vancouver they're in and around $20, and we're at 17 here. But with new product, you're probably looking more at that $19 a square foot, just because there isn't anything out there right now. I know a colleague in our office, Jeff Haster's doing the leasing for West Shore. He's doing some deals at 19 a foot right now, which just shows that there's obviously no product on the market right now. Over the next couple of years is going to be, that 500,000 square feet coming to the market. But as of right now, there's just no options for these tenants coming through.
So Harry, industrial obviously is sort of self-propelling itself. What about like the retail sector over there? Is retail still robust like it was throughout the pandemic there, which just seemed like steady Eddie and continuing to grow? How's the retail sector right now in the Greater Victoria marketplace?
Yeah, retail's come back obviously through COVID. A lot of tenants and smaller businesses struggled because of, especially in Victoria, with tourism slowing down or stopping altogether. We've seen an influx. The streets are busy again, so these retail tenants are quite a bit more bullish. Interest rates don't affect them as much. Construction costs and for new shelf space might slow them down a little bit, but we've definitely seen the vacancy rate dip, and a lot of these end users a lot more in demand right now.
So Harry, for the retail investor standpoint there, is that market, in the middle of COVID, things were selling over asking, multiple offers. It almost seemed like the market that you couldn't find a better market to buy into if you could find a freestanding or a well-positioned strata in the retail sector there in Greater Victoria. How is that investor side of the marketplace right now? Is it still as exciting as it once was, and is demand still as high as we saw during the pandemic?
Yeah, it definitely obviously depends on the type of asset you're looking at. On the strata side, there's a strong amount of demand, and there's not a lot of product on the market for that, whether it's offices relatively non-existent. Retail pop up there, but it gets scooped up quite quickly. You just can't buy, or you can't build to the same cost that you could a year or two ago. So I think those price per foot metrics are going to stay high. We're seeing some products sit in the market for a little bit. The days on market starting to increase, interest rates and the numbers not making as much sense, but there's still a strong amount of demand from what I'm seeing. I know our phones are still ringing for those type of opportunities, especially because I think groups are starting to see, maybe the bottom of this dip here, and obviously that's a time for a good opportunity to pick up some of the low hanging fruit.
Harry, what asset class are you most excited about right now?
Coming hot off the West Shore Business Park development on the industrial side, and really enjoying that with the Business Park on our Brave. I think the leasing front's going to be quite busy. I think land in general is going to be a hot one too, just based on the amount of groups that want to come in and move into this beautiful part of the world. Obviously, we're maybe in a small speed bump right now, but I think if we look back a year or two, people are going to realize that there's not a lot of land here and a crazy amount of demand for people to live. So I think on the development side, as it is a lot of opportunity, and then the industrial side, it's tough to get land in the South Island area, but I think up Mid-Island in the Nanaimo trade market is going to be another area that people are going to hone into in the near future here.
You mentioned the speed bump. Is now an opportunity for buyers? Like, should buyers be buying right now, or should buyers be holding tight?
I think it's a great time to be ready to jump on some good opportunities. Obviously, some owners might get pushed out of the market just based on maybe refinancing, so there could be some really good opportunities. I think that people might sit and wait a little bit too long, thinking that there's going to be, a bigger dip than what's expected, and then you're going to look back and say you missed an opportunity. You might have to wait another 5 or 10 years or something like that. So yeah, if you're looking long term, I think the Victoria and on the Vancouver Island is a great market to get into, and yeah, we're busy as ever right now. So I think now is definitely the time.
So Harry, one asset class we want to find out more about, like the office market. Victoria has never been traditionally an office market. I know there's some new office product coming to the market that's very, very exciting. I know we've talked about before in the past, sort of the lack of strata office opportunity, especially for the owner occupiers looking to acquire their own space. How's the overall office market in Victoria?
Yeah, generally speaking, increased vacancy through COVID, obviously. That's come back. A lot of turnkey spaces will get scooped up, and that's because there is just not a market. Some of these groups have the pick of the litter. So, we're seeing these turnkey office spaces where groups can just, walk in on a lease and just get ready to go. That's obviously seeing a strong amount of demand. I think that the strata office play is something that would be quite strong in basically right now and in the near future, just because there isn't much out there. When anything pops up, it gets scooped up quite quickly. Because the owners of businesses are looking to own their own and pay off their mortgage rather than someone else's. So I think that's another great opportunity for groups to look into.
When it comes to retail and office space, Harry, do you have an area that you're excited about in the Greater Victoria area?
Yeah, going back to that strata office, I think there's going to be a great opportunity there. I know that in at West Shore Business Park, we're actually launching a 4-story office tower up there, which will be on a strata sales basis, which would be just a really good opportunity for groups to come into the hub of the South Island area, easily accessible from all neighboring trade areas on the South Island, and then also right off the Trans-Canada Highway, which takes you up to all the tertiary markets ahead of Nanaimo, and then all the way up to Comox, Courtenay, Cumberland, and Parksville as well. So yeah, I'm very excited about that side of it, and I think that retail is going to remain quite strong. I think there's going to be some more good industrial opportunities coming up in the near future.
So Harry, you just quickly touched there about heading up island to the Central Island area, and you touched on Nanaimo. What are your thoughts on Nanaimo? Obviously, it seems like it's the little brother almost to Victoria, but has made huge strides and sort of trying to keep pace with the overall demand Victoria is seeing. What are your thoughts on the Nanaimo market or that Central Island market?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of interest coming in there, a good amount of institutional money, some great mixed-use buildings in the downtown Nanaimo area popping up as well that are getting scooped up quite quickly. We're working with Steiner Properties on a mixed-use development of about 25,000 square feet of retail and office in the downtown Nanaimo area. So they're really trying to bring back the vibrancy of the area and increase that tourism, locals, enjoying the area as well. I do really think that South Nanaimo area on an industrial basis will be great too, just based on the infrastructure upgrades that are happening to do points on the transportation side of things as well.
Harry, I'm just thinking about how the city of Victoria has changed since COVID, and specifically, we historically the region was known for newlyweds and nearly deads, and obviously COVID's had a big impact on that. How have you seen the city change in the past few years?
Yeah, you're starting to see a shift in age demographic for sure. I think obviously through COVID, people have been able to work more remotely and move to places that they enjoy, but can also be busy with work. So, we're seeing a lot of interest, and what comes with that is, a busy commercial market. Obviously, we get a lot of spillover from the residential side and the fluctuations there. So, it's a beautiful place to live. I try to, keep it to the basics, and we're geographically constrained. We've got water on all sides of us almost, and it's just a beautiful place to live. So, looking at those factors, I think it's going to continue to expand and get a strong amount of interest moving forward.
Harry, we haven't touched base on, and I wanted to at least bring it up for a quick second there. Multifamily space, that's one asset class that, go back 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now, you saw very attractive cap rates with almost the exact same, if not better, vacancy rates than we saw here on the mainland area, which then a lot of institutional money and private investors and that all flocked there, pushing the cap rate down to very similar cap rates we see over here. How's the multifamily side of the business out there? Obviously, vacancy rates are still really, really low. Rents are gaining great momentum from the landlord standpoint, not so good from the tenant standpoint. How's the investment market over there for multifamily?
Yeah, over the last couple of years, I think synonymous with a lot of other trade areas, it's been quite busy. Suppressed cap rates and multiple offers on most properties that come up for sale. Obviously, with interest rates shifting, we've seen products sit in the market for a little bit longer, and cap rates starting to creep up a little bit, which again, obviously, shows that there is some opportunity coming here. I think the long-term outlook is very, very bullish for Victoria and that asset class. And I think groups that capitalize on these cap rates right now and time themselves well will do quite well long term.
So if I understand it correctly, from a strategy perspective, now is the time to be kind of getting your ducks in a row and monitoring the market for opportunities. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. It never hurts to look, and it definitely never hurts to be prepared, because when a good opportunity does come up, if you don't have your ducks in a row, you're just not going to be able to jump on it with a strong amount of comfort. At William Wright Commercial here, we obviously try and tee up everything. So you have your appraisals and your lenders and everything all prepared for those opportunities. So I'm always happy to answer any questions on that side and be a one-stop shop for any group looking to invest or partner here.
If Harry Jones had as much money as he needs to buy whatever asset class he wants on Vancouver Island, what's Harry Jones buying?
And where?
And where? Yeah, and where?
I'll probably look at a two-pronged approach here. Probably in the South Island, Victoria area, I'd look at waiting for some good opportunities in the area for sure, with these cap rates jumping up a little bit. And then on the industrial side, I've been specializing in that quite a bit, and I think that there's going to be some good opportunities in the South Nanaimo area. I really like right now. Not too much going on right now, and the word isn't quite out. And then again, obviously, industrial in the Greater Victoria area is so strong right now that definitely from an owner-occupier standpoint, you're going to do really well. And the investors that have got into the market are obviously going to be seeing the benefits coming up here soon.
So, Harry, we didn't touch base on this too much. You did mention it, but for our listeners there that don't know, Harry was recently at the Olympics, and Adam is a diehard F-45er. You are in phenomenal shape. When I was over at the Victoria office this past week, the Victoria office dragged me to F-45 for the first time.
Is this a franchise question?
No, this is I'm throwing myself under the bus question. So I can barely physically move 2 days later. And when I'm working out, I have to work out next to Harry at the F-45. And I am grabbing the very small weights there is, and my back hurts. And Harry is doing the super deadlift. Former Olympian, can't get any more weight on the bar lift. Harry, my question is, how would you rate my performance as a first-time F-45er?
Honestly, probably, I'd give you an A for effort, but probably, overall about a 6 out of 10, I think. When we're doing 2 sets there and you're rolling around on the floor for the second one, I don't know if the owner, Jeff Hassler, there was too happy about it.
I was looking for my contact, just so in case you were wondering. Well, I'll be honest with you, I'll take the 6. I'll take the 6 because I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of felt like my effort was like a 2. So if you're going to give me a 6, that's pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Room for improvement.
I'm not going to lie. I would look around when other people couldn't physically see what I was doing, and then second time around, I was taking breaks. Like there was breaks. I call them breaks. You call them maybe skipping a set, but they were breaks overall. So I'll take your 6 out of 10.
Yeah, for those listening, Cory enjoyed I think some after work beers with the Kelowna office, and then he came over to Victoria, and we took him for a workout, which he had to get wheeled out of.
I was telling Adam the story before we hit record. Is I make my way around the province to every office once a month, and I was this past week I was in Kelowna and Kamloops, and I was telling people how the Kelowna office, when they're done, we're all sitting at the keg and they're having wine and we're eating steak. And I go to Victoria to spend the night with the Victoria office, and when they're done, we're at F-45. So. Two different areas to go, and I can't physically feel my lower body at this point, but nevertheless, I appreciate you guys dragging me to the F-45 and making me feel as painful as I do now. So Harry, before we let you go, we got the 6-pack of lighthearted questions so our guest gets to know you a little bit more outside of work. Normally, I'd give you the option, do you want to stay? But here, we're going to tell you you're going to stay to join us for the 6-pack. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
The 6-pack is powered by our great friends over at Red Point Law.
Oh, the guys at Red Point Law are fantastic, Cory.
For all your legal needs when it comes to commercial real estate, visit them at redpointlaw.ca.
All right, so question number 1 is, what is your favorite vacation spot?
Italy, without a doubt.
Oh, quick answer there. What is it about Italy besides the pizza and the wine?
No, it's the pizza and the wine. That's all it is.
Question number 2, Harry, what's a book all of our listeners need to read?
You know what? Tuesdays with Maury. I just finished it. Completely off topic, but it's a good book.
Favorite band?
I'm going to go City and Color.
Oh, good one. Good one. Dallas Smith. Yeah.
I saw him live. I saw him live with the Victoria office a couple months back.
Oh, good. No, good choice. What show are you currently binge watching on Netflix?
Actually, I'm watching a documentary called How to Change Your Mind. It's about actually psychedelics. It's an interesting one.
Interesting. So we'll have to get Cory some psychedelics, and maybe F45 will enter his world.
Harry, if you find yourself on death row, what's your final meal?
I'm gonna go back to the pizza side of things, and just any freshly cooked pizza from Italy will do me just fine.
Oh, that's perfect.
Good choice.
And last but not least, you're out singing karaoke, and somebody passes you a mic. What song are you singing?
I had to sing. I sung "These Eyes" for my first cap with rugby in front of the entire team on the bus after, so I'll have to go with that.
That's,
I can't remember who
the guess who? Burton Cummings, right?
Yeah,
that's a Winnipeg Winnipeg band.
It's Adam's hometown.
Oh, yeah.
Go Jets, go.
Yeah, there you go.
Is there any video of that, Harry, by chance?
There is, but only I have it.
Okay.
My voice cracked a few times on the mic.
Well, Harry, for all of our listeners there, how can they find out more and get a hold of you to find out more what you're doing at William Wright Victoria over there?
Yeah, I mean, they can contact me directly at harry@williamwright.ca, or my direct cell number at 250-634-4947. I'm always happy to have a conversation and chat about the commercial market over here.
Excellent. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time today, Harry. Really appreciate it, and we'll love to get you back on in the near future for an update.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is great.
And there you have it, folks. Our interview with Harry Jones, senior broker with William Wright Commercial Victoria.
There's a couple guys at the Victoria office, nicest guys ever, but they have like an extensive careers as former professional rugby players, and they look like they could just rip your limbs like straight off your body if they wanted to.
Yeah,
but super nice guys.
So when I go over there, and a lot of times we'll go out for lunch as a team, and I'm 5'9",
right.
5'10" if I comb my hair right. When I'm walking around with all the guys in Victoria, it looks like I'm walking with muscle. Like
right.
I got security with me or something like that, because they're all 6'2" to 6'5".
Yeah.
All in phenomenal shape. And then you got this short little fat redhead guy. So it looks like I'm almost walking around with security behind me, because we don't look like we all should be friends.
Right.
That's how out of place. Like, remember the Sesame Street song, "One of These Things That Doesn't Belong Here"? That is me when I go to Victoria.
But that office is doing exceptionally well.
Phenomenally well. Those
and the
guys do
Victoria
great.
market has been clearly on fire still. And
even when we looked at it, we touched base there a little bit on the episode there, we talk about how some projects over there, because construction costs have obviously grown tremendously, those prices unfortunately get passed on to the consumer, where industrial price per foot, we're sometimes in the middle threes, high threes, and Harry mentioned some of them are now into the fives, and they're still selling. Demand is so high for those asset classes. All the asset classes over there seem to be doing pretty well. The town's bustling. When I was over there, it was just booming.
Where do you hang out when you go to Victoria? Area-wise?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the Government Street area. Like, I like that kind of old town feel type of thing, and the water's just gorgeous. Anyway, I definitely don't stay at the Empress. That's for sure. That's far beyond the William Wright commercial travel budget. But yeah, so we always try to go down there. We went to this great restaurant. I don't know if I'm going to give them a free plug here. Bard and Baron.
Bard and Baron.
Baron. I could be completely wrong with the name. Maybe help me out here. It kind of remind me of Carderos.
Is it Bard and Banker?
No, Boom and Batten. Boom and Batten. I wasn't even close.
What is happening here?
Boom and Batten. So it's in Esquimalt in Vic West. It is a phenomenal restaurant. We were in the dining room is gorgeous, and you're literally on the water. The windows are all open, and you can smell the salt water as you're eating your seafood.
Okay, well, there's a Scottish style pub called Bard and Banker.
Yeah,
also on Government.
Yeah, we were in Vic West, so we were in Esquimalt. So unfortunately, I know where that place is. I'm sure I've had a few beers there. This is called Boom and Batten, I'm pretty sure.
Boom and
Batten. It's in Vic West. I didn't even know it existed. It was so nice.
Wow.
Amazing. And the best part is they paid for me.
The guys at the office.
Yeah, I was eating thinking like, hey, I'm paying, right? So I'm like the one meatball, I'm sharing it, right? Type of thing. And then I found out after, Connor, our managing broker, pays the bill. And the first thing that goes to my head was, damn, I could have got the lobster. I could have got all that stuff. But phenomenal guys, great team over there. We're so fortunate to have them. They're doing amazing. And that market continues to outpace most markets.
Well, if you want to learn more about Victoria, you can definitely reach out to Harry Jones. Cory, if people want to reach out to you in Vancouver for conversations about Vancouver or other markets in BC, how can people get in touch?
They can send me an email anytime, Cory@williamwright.ca. Feel free to call our Vancouver office, 604-428-5255. Let us know what you're looking for. We'll put you in touch with the best broker throughout the province that meet your needs. Or you can visit our website, which as of next week will be brand new. It's the better late than never 8-month project we have, WilliamWright.ca. And you can sign up for the latest and greatest news.
Fantastic. Well, we'll see you guys next week with another great episode of the Vancouver Commercial Real Estate Podcast.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Subscribe today.